Good morning, UPBOptionMillionaires.com. August 7th, 2014. It's about an hour before the market's going to open. We have the ECB out this morning. That's helping to lift stock futures higher, almost 0.5% higher than we were at the close yesterday. And you can see, unlike three of the last four Thursdays, where we've seen significant downside in stock futures, and notably after the European Open, this time around here, the European markets opened, we rallied, consolidated a bit, and then ECB's come out, we've rallied further. The SPY is at 193. Come to think about where we were yesterday, about an hour before the current time in the market. We were down to about 190.60, I believe, on the SPY. We consolidated a bit into the market open, and then we ramped significantly higher. We hit almost 193 on the SPY before fading, closing at about 192. And you see futures meandered a little bit, and then you have the European markets open. And so far, I haven't really looked back. We'll see if these gains can hold. And if you just look from a longer-term perspective on this market, it's the Abenomics low I've been talking about in November 2012. This trend line goes up, and we finally broke through it, much like we did at the start of this year. So we'll see if this wick that we saw at the start of the year will be a wick here as we move up to the $200 level. Again, the trend, aside from these pullbacks, which have all been buy the dip kind of pullbacks, is up, notably to the upside. And I think we're going to hit new fresh all-time highs on the S&P 500. We have earnings out this morning, SSYS, which is blasting higher. JB at Option Millionaires had that on the private Twitter. The 110 calls at 40 cents. We'll see if those do pretty well this morning. You can see though where it closed. I mean, it's pretty ballsy to get the 110 calls here with the almost $13 out of the money. And you look if SSYS does indeed rally here, we look at resistance at about the 125 level. 125. I like saying that, 125. DDD, which is at support, again, look at DDD, is following SSYS higher. It's on the heels, up almost 5%, almost to the $50 level here. And again, I think this is a stock that breaks out to the upside. Eventually, before year's end, it's going to be back over $70 and then $80 a share. Disney, I like Disney here, rallied a little bit yesterday before pulling back at earnings out the prior day, Wednesday after the bell. Had a nice spike, but then pulled back with everything else as the markets kind of pulled back at the end of the session yesterday. But I'm looking for this to be over a $90 stock in the short term, and I think even heading into week's end, could be an $87.50, $88 stock and break the highs that we saw the last couple days here. For Disney, we do have earnings out after the bell today. Unipixel, symbol UNXL, which is a thinly traded stock these days, heavily shorted, is significantly down from its record levels a year ago. Look for it possibly to head back up. It's spiked up at the start of June. It's been consolidating. This earnings report could send it back to $10. If you look at the options for Unipixel, possibly get into some of the $8 or $9 calls on a move to the upside. Solar City, we had First Solar come out with earnings yesterday, faded at the open, but look what happened First Solar as the day progressed. And you can look at First Solar confined in this channel here, beautiful. But if you look at the intraday action, First Solar gapped lower and then rallied and closed 3% higher. Solar City is at 72, well off its all-time high. Looks, and if you pull up the chart here, this is a 2-minute chart. Looks like it's consolidating here, a nice bullish pattern. And we look from the longer-term perspective here on Solar City. Again, we have the nice spike up to start June from the low 40s up to almost $80. Been consolidating. It looks poised to take out the $80 level. We'll see if earnings tonight after the bell does it. We have earnings tonight from Sprouts Farmers Market. This could be a bullish trade here as well as the stock hit recent lows here at 26. It's bounced off. It's about $5 off the lows and looks to reclaim at least up at almost the $40 level for SFM. Before the bell tomorrow, we have Sotheby's, which is bid, which could see a bullish move to the upside. All right, UPB here, OptionMillionaires.com. So we have a market that has been consolidating and getting the bears salivating. Nonetheless, as the market continues here, we need to get back over this trend line as we did at the start of this year. It took a couple days, but when we did, it was very fruitful for anybody in the call. Contracts are going long. So we'll see if that's what happens today. You can already see, actually, if you look, futures are starting to pull back from their 193 level. We'll see if it can hold here. You can see yesterday we had a nice, beautiful short-term head and shoulders pattern, which foretold the weakness we saw into the close. Let's see what happens today. I would love to see this level hold, if we can hold this level right here. To be about the 1,921.50 level. All right, UPB here, optionmillionaires.com. Everyone have a great trading day. I'll see you in the chat room. I also like, if you weren't following on Twitter or StockTwits, I like some Boeing. I like me some Boeing as the stock. Neared support after a significant pullback from almost 140, down $20. I think a lot of that has to do with the Ebola scare. And once that kind of gets dissipated, I guess people are equating Ebola and possible canceled flights as a negative for Boeing, which creates airplanes. So creates out of thin air. Anyway. All right, yeah, and futures are pulling back a little bit because we have, right now, on the mic, Mario Draghi. We'll see if we can get a bullish reversal here. Anyway. All right, everyone have a great trading day. See you in the chat room at optionmillionaires.com. Goodbye.